Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Welcome in on a Thursday morning. We've got a lot of ground to cover here, including the U.S. Open. Yes, it starts today. Who's excited? Who's ready to go? I am. And we got Bob Casper later this hour. We had our draft with him yesterday. We'll play that for you. Some of his thoughts on the course and the way things set up. We'll get to that coming up in just a few minutes. Also, Ben Anderson on the NBA draft. I mean, we're talking about it. We're making predictions. We're making guesses. We're trying to read the tea leaves. And why do I think the Jazz are just going to end up drafting AJ DeBonsa? That makes a lot of mock drafts back in October and November right. Darren Peterson 1, AJ DeBonsa 2. Boom, boom. Probably Boozer 3 for that matter. A lot of those October, November drafts could be right after they, you move them around and guys play games and guys win and guys lose and guys excel. In the case of Peterson, guys sit out. And yet we just end up where we were in October, November. Wouldn't shock me. I don't know that. I can't report it. I don't have sources. We have a promo running that is hilarious. Austin Ainge is asked about, dropping any hints, letting people know. And like, absolutely not. And he says, well, it's always been true that you don't want to tip your hand to the competition, right, and let them know what you think, and that can only go wrong. It might be neutral, but it could go wrong, so you don't want to do it. And he says now there's all these betting markets, and you don't want to like accidentally let something slip, and then someone wins $500,000, and then the FBI's knocking on your door for insider trading. And he's like, that can't happen. That's not happening. Not doing that. So you got to, if you're sitting in a job the way Austin Ainge is, also I would say NBA owners because they probably know what's going on, and maybe a couple of top executives, you got to know how to keep a secret, right? I wouldn't think the Jazz circle is very wide off of what Austin Ainge said, but at some point he's got to let the owner know. Maybe Jay-Z and Danny Ainge. It can't be wider than that, and it may not be that wide, Get the input from everybody, but you don't necessarily have to let everybody know what the final decision is. So I thought that was pretty interesting. We'll see where that goes. Ben Anderson. And also on what's going to happen here, we're getting closer and closer to restricted free agency as well as the draft. And so what happens with Walker Kessler? That 5-year, $140 million deal. I think Ben's a smart guy. Ben's very logical. That's why Ben and I get along. He's logical. I like that. So, if you're going to beat that offer, you probably beat it with 3 years, $100 million. That gives him an extra $5 million a year in the annual average value of the salary. Plus, after 3 years, not to get into a bunch of accounting talk here, but that 3 more years of experience can move him to another tier and make him eligible for a bigger salary. So you don't want to be off the market for 5 years. Once you make that jump, it's like a stair step. If you're a teacher, it's very similar. Maybe it's that way for, other city employees too, police, fire, that kind of stuff. But my dad was a high school teacher, so I know because I saw it growing up. You get a few more years of service and boom, you're eligible for more money. So Kessler may prefer a 3-year deal. And of course the Jazz would prefer a 5-year deal. So that's what they offered. So we'll get into that with Ben coming up. And I've also been thinking about that Mark Harlan interview. What was Mark trying to say without saying it? And the one thing that really intrigued me, I've said multiple times, I can see upside. There is value to be unlocked in remodeling the Huntsman Center. But that's not primarily what Otro is going to do. Now, they are bringing in some people who have some experience in that, so it'd be silly to think that they aren't, going to have some of that experience tapped into. But I think remodeling the Huntsman Center not only sets up the luxury boxes that, premier executive type seating that costs so much money, where people do business deals. And that's why it's worth it. You take people to high-end entertainment and you try to close a $550 or $500 million deal while you're sitting in tickets that cost $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever. It's a heck of a return, right? So we can all see that. But Mark was also, I think the second thing it does you don't appreciate is it also opens up more sponsorship opportunities. Most of the time when you go to these stadiums, they all have names on them. Right? When you belong to Club X, it's named after a luxury car for instance, or maybe insurance or, some major employer in town. So it's a chance for major sponsorship dollars on top of these high-priced tickets. But then Mark also said it's a chance for other people on campus. And I started thinking, how does that work? And simple me was going to, the biology department, and maybe there's something there. But so I was stuck on traffic on Foothill Drive, with all the people leaving Research Park. It suddenly realized, David, Research Park. There's a lot of people there working on a lot of cutting edge stuff, trying to get patents, trying to get the next gen thing. And then you got to take it to market, right? And again, now you're cutting business deals. All of a sudden, I can see pieces coming together. I'm still not sure exactly how it works, and I want to talk to some people who I think might be up to speed on this, but I think I might be catching a vision here that I did not initially have. I mean, I know it's still private equity, and, they're going to want their return, and they're going to demand it, and they're going to get it. Now, will there be enough left over for everybody else to sustain everybody who currently needs to be sustained and to accelerate the programs that need accelerating, which, quite frankly, is pretty much everybody? As PK is fond of saying, man, if you don't have NIL, how you gonna have a winning team? But can this help generate that? I don't know. I can't guarantee anything, but I'm open to a couple of ideas. And I think now, after thinking about that interview for a day and a half, I might be open to a third or fourth idea here. So we'll see where it goes. It's also possible that it all goes up in smoke and doesn't work. But I'm intrigued, sitting in traffic on Foothill thinking, a lot of these people are supposed to be on the cutting edge of science. Somebody might be ready to make some money here and might need some help and might need the right setting to have the conversation, if you know what I mean. A high-end football game, a high-end basketball, whatever. All right, we'll leave that right there for now. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're coming back with Bob Casper on the U.S. Open, then Ben Anderson on the Jazz, the NBA Draft, and Walker Kessler. Stay with us.
We all have routines. I'm Jabron, and with diabetes, mine was finger sticks. Sometimes I skip them because they hurt. The Freestyle Libre 3CGM changed that. It gives me glucose insights without finger sticks. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
Finger sticks are required if your glucose alarms and readings do not match symptoms, or when you see check blood glucose symbol for the first 12 hours. The views expressed should not be used for medical diagnosis or treatment as a substitute for professional medical advice. Individual circumstances may vary. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time to talk U.S. Open golf. Coming up at 8 o'clock, Brian Taylor will join us from Shinnecock Hills. We'll get an early report on day one. But first, Bob Casper with PK and I from yesterday on the draft, the day before the Open. We made our picks. And, of course, we can only pick a guy once a year now. New rule, right? So if you pick McIlroy in the PGA, you're done. You can't pick him in the U.S. Open or in the British Open. So, the Open Championship. All right, here's Bob Casper.
This 2026 U.S. Open update is presented by Copper Rock, where the pros play on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ, PK, and Bob Casper. Bob's appearance is brought to you by Mountain America Credit Union, Mountainland Supply, Black Desert Resort, Hoops Vision, and UNA Golf. Bob, good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. I think you are to be congratulated. Awesome. I think you are to be congratulated, Bob.
For what? How come?
Because I'm driving back from the Utah Summer Games, and I'm on the freeway. I got a long time. I get to listen to a lot of your show on Saturday. A week ago Saturday.
Did you?
It was a week ago Saturday. And Brian got on a roll, and I nearly drove off the freeway in Nephi and crashed into Bar W Beef. Because he's like, when he dropped, I played Pine Valley. I don't need to go back there. Shinnecock's a place I could go back to. I'm like, man, he better thank Bob Casper because Bob has hooked him up. So, Bob, thanks for hooking Brian up for the last 25 years.
We've been very fortunate. We've been able to play a lot of great places, and this is one of them here at Shinnecock.
Yeah, well, screw you.
Oakmont last year, Pebble Beach next year. Yeah, it's good. It's pretty good.
Another reason to hate Bob Casper. The list just grows and grows.
Jealousy.
But you know what? PK?
What?
The interesting thing is the president of the USGA right now is John Bodenhammer, and he played with me at BYU.
Oh, he did?
So, Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's nice. I text him beginning of every year and make sure he had a great Christmas and wish him a happy New Year, and to make sure we're on the list for the media day
I understand.
preview. So
I got your agenda.
Nice.
Oh, funny.
Shinnecock Hills, when people turn on the TV on Sunday, on Father's Day, the defining feature of this course that people is going to register is going to be blank.
Hilly golf course with beautiful fescue and green grass and beautiful bunkering and treacherous greens.
Very treacherous.
Very.
Yeah, I was looking at something I saw. I'm looking it up. I think I saved it as far as the number of guys who shot under par at this place.
Exactly.
It's just like a handful or something, right?
Three total.
So more people have career slams than go under par at Shinnecock.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's a stat.
3 total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. When I saw that, I thought, come on, what are they talking about? They're talking about today? I looked at it today. It's a practice round. No, they're talking ever.
Ever.
This is the definition.
Ever in the championship.
The classic example of what a U.S. Open is about.
Well, and PK, they talk about last year's event at Oakmont, that's an absolute beast. There are more people that have shot under par at Oakmont than there are that have shot under par here at Shinnecock Hills.
Right.
So, yeah, like multiples more.
Yeah.
So, this golf course is amazing. They've set it up this year a little bit easier as far as off the tee is concerned. You've got some fairways that are 45 yards wide, some that when you've got double fairways working together that are 100 yards wide. But where you're going to get into trouble is if you don't hit the fairway, it goes straight into 3 to 4 inch rough. And then you've got the fescue if you hit it further out there. Bryson DeChambeau posted a video of him yesterday.
Yeah.
Dropped the ball in the fescue and hit it and only advanced it like 5 feet, 10 feet.
Finally, something I can relate to.
You're better off taking a weed whacker.
Yeah. And then the greens. The greens are going to be big. There's a lot of slope-off areas around the outsides and runoff areas off the greens. But in the middle of the greens, there's always a flat area that if you play to that flat area, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to have a decent putt because you'll be able to putt out towards the corners and where they have the flags. So as Rory said yesterday, you have to be extremely patient on this golf course, and it's going to be putting fairways first of all. Then it's going to be putting, and it's going to be short game.
Where are the holes that you can make birdie? Where can we look for them? Because if no one's breaking par except for 3 guys ever, then there aren't very many birdie holes. But there must be something out there. Where is it?
Well, I think if you're going to do anything, you got to take advantage of the par 5s. And there's only 2 of them. And that's the thing that is tough in a U.S. Open is they like the par to be a 70 par, which means only 2 par 5s. And so you're going to have to take advantage. Is it 16? Yeah, 16 is 1 par 5 on the back 9. And I can't remember where it's at, maybe 5 or 6 on the front 9. But you're gonna have to hit a nice shot into there to give yourself an opportunity to make birdies. And if like we talked about, if you can shoot even par to 1 under par every day, then you're gonna have a pretty good chance to win this golf tournament. But it's going to be a difficult task for these guys, and they understand it. They understand that the 11th hole is a crazy par 3 that sits kind of up, and the winds come up big time here in the afternoon. They're calling for 8 mile an hour gusts on Thursday, but by later in the afternoon they're going to be 30 mile an hour gusts, and you get up on that green and you can get the ball rolling. The wind can grab a hold of it, and it could take it right off the green.
With this course being what it is and the rich history and the difficulty of it, last year we had somebody like a J.J. Spawn. It was a little bit of a surprise.
Right. Right.
So I'm wondering, what is the prototype in terms of ability / experience, mental makeup to be able to win?
Well, I think, PK, I think it's experience is what you hit the nail on the head. Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
The last four winners, you look at Raymond Floyd, who had won a PGA championship and won a Masters. He had the experience of a major championship winner. So, he came here and he played some phenomenal golf at the age of 46 and he won the golf tournament. And then you got Corey Pavin, who had never won a major championship before, a short hitter, and was able to get around here and win this golf tournament. And then you got Retief Goosen, who fought it out, duked it out with Phil Mickelson. Retief hit a golf ball that penetrated the wind. He hit a heavy, what they call a heavy golf ball. And he was able to win. And then, of course, Brooks Koepka, another guy who hits a heavy golf ball too. So you've got a short hitter and a couple intermediate hitters and a long hitter. And I think it doesn't bode one way or the other for one of those guys to be able to come out. And that's what's really, really cool about this golf course. You have to be patient. You have to hit fairways. You have to hit greens. And you have to use all the clubs in your bag, especially your short game and your putter, if you want to have a chance to win.
When you talk about some of these fairways 45 yards wide, you also said hilly. As PK teaches me more and more about golf, there's some courses we play where it's like, hey, this looks pretty wide, but the 20 yards on the right side of the fairway can't hold the ball. So it's 45 yards wide, but you've got to be on the left third if you're going to end up in the middle. And if you're in the middle, you're going to end up on the right edge. And you're flirting with the rough, which is okay at the munis I'm playing at, but it's not okay at Shinnecock. So are they really 45 yards wide? Are we going to have some side hills here tripping guys up?
I think it's a lot of all of that, DJ. It's not called Shinnecock Hills for nothing.
Right.
It's sands hills, and it has a lot of undulation. So you're going to have a lot of uneven lies. You're going to have the ball below your feet, above your feet. You're going to have downhill lies, or you're going to have uphill lies. But what these guys are great at doing is being able to shape the golf ball to be able to hold it into fairways that are cantered to the left or fairways that are cantered to the right. So they, in essence, can use a lot of that, but they've got to keep away from those big knobs that are in the fairways and that kind of thing. And they can take advantage of those too if they catch a little downslope off one of those. But it doesn't look like the golf course is going to be too dried out, especially at the beginning of the week. And we're possibly expecting some rain in the first round or the second round. And not a lot, maybe 35, 40%, maybe 50%. But if you get the wind, then it dries out the golf course, and the greens are where they're going to have to worry about those greens getting too soft and too dry. The USGA even said that they've added 10 minutes in between the morning shift and the afternoon shift, where they can go out and squeegee the greens and put more moisture in them again because they're expecting the winds.
Right. We saw that. We talked about that with Brian. Yeah. With this being as difficult it is, how much more do you place on the mental aspect?
Oh, 100%. You know, the USGA says that they want you to get every golf club in your bag dirty during the championship. Okay, that's what they're trying to do. But they also want that 15th club, the one between your ears, to get taxed and become part of play. And you know, at the PGA Championship, we looked at the guys that bombed the ball, that hit the ball a long ways, and they really didn't back off. You know, Rory said, I'm just going to send it. I'm going to hit it way down there and hit wedges to the greens. And he was coming out of the rough all the time during the PGA Championship. Well, he was asked yesterday, how are you going to play this golf course? And he said, there's a couple holes where I feel like I'm really take advantage of the golf course, the first hole and the 13th hole, and hit it down there with the white wind conditions. But he said, do I want to put that ball in jeopardy of getting in that fescue and getting in that deep rough and that kind of thing? So he said, this more than any other U.S. Open, I want to play more patient and give what the golf course will give me. And I think that's what you have to do this week. You have to play patient, take what the golf course will give you, and give yourself opportunities in hitting shots. And you're going to see, we're going to be bored with pars and bogeys and double bogeys this week.
It is time for our draft. Now, this is going to be a little on the tricky side here, Bob, because we're not allowed this year to draft players twice. So if you took a player in the Masters of the PGA, you can't take them now. So you can't take Rory McIlroy, J.J. Spawn, Jordan Spieth, or Cameron Young, Bryson DeChambeau. Goddard is also off for you. Your regional assignment, Xander Schauffele, I have heard him mentioned, is
yes.
No, he's top 5.
Well. Yeah.
A possibility this week.
You're falling into a good one there, just because you grew up in San Diego and so did he.
Yeah.
And he's short. So is Bob.
He hits the ball a long ways.
Short-tempered. So is Bob.
Excuse me.
All right, Bob. So
I get my first pick.
Well,
I told you the last two that I was holding this one for this week.
I'm going to take Scheffler.
No, sorry. My pick first. Career Grand Slam. It ends on his birthday, and it ends on Father's Day. Scotty Scheffler's.
Oh, and he just had a kid. It's all set up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Giddy up.
I'm so happy for Bennett and Meredith. And what's the other kid's name? I already forgot.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
I'll go ahead and take Rory. I haven't taken him yet.
Oh, giddy up.
Sweet.
Okay.
Those are going to be my first 2 picks in the PGA.
Yep.
Well, they could be your last 2 because we won't be able to take them. So you can take whoever you want in the first and know they're going to fall to you.
Excellent point. I'm going to go with a theme. Last time I went with all non-U.S. guys. I went with foreign guys. I think I'm going to go this time just all white guys.
Well, you took Matsuyama, so he's already off the board. So
right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
On the other hand, Justin Rose off the board.
Wow.
Justin Rose.
You can't take Justin Rose, Tommy Fleetwood, Ludwig Eberg. Those are your Euros. Okay. You also have taken Matthew Fitzpatrick and Corey Connors.
I think I'll go with CY. Cameron Young.
CY? Cameron Young.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Not Siwoo Kim, CY.
No. He's a New Yorker, and no, that's a really good pick, PK.
And plus, he's a Christian. He's devout in his faith, just like me.
Yep.
He went to Mass, I think, one of the mornings before. I'm going to go to Mass on Sunday.
Awesome. And pray for him.
Yes.
Well, with that rough, pray for everybody.
Well, I mostly pray for me because I need it the most.
Who knows what danger lurks? All right, Bob, round 2. What are you thinking?
Matty Fitz.
My guy.
You want to tell that story?
3 wins on the year, and he finished second last week.
I introduced Matt Fitzpatrick to the golfing world.
No, you didn't.
I did too. I did too.
Hey, PK.
What?
Hey, PK, take his brother for your last pick. Take his brother, Alex.
Why do you do that?
You can
introduce the world.
That was on my. You don't give PK tips.
Take them.
Don't give PK tips.
You're the Wizards.
Hey,
you can take them.
You're ahead of him, PK.
Yeah. He's yours if you want him, big guy. I wouldn't take him. He only got in on because they had some funky rule there, and Matthew allowed him to get in with that sand trap shot.
I'm going to take a guy who's got some top 10 U.S. Open finishes the last couple years. Is it time for Russell Henley to break through?
No.
Ooh, that might be a good one. He just won it in Dallas, in Fort Worth.
Hence, therefore, whereas.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good pick. I like that.
He like it. He likey.
All right,
like
PK.
Man, I've got to choose a white guy.
What's your problem, man?
I'm going with the theme. I'm going with white guys this time.
Welcome to the PJ Tour. Come on, let's go.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
You go 10 minutes and come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Just stalling who went to mass and white guys and what are the name of the kids? It's all this randomness, man.
Okay.
All right.
I'll go with the big guy. The former beast who slimmed down. Lives in Dallas via Fresno.
Bryson DeChambeau.
Yes. I didn't realize. I'm not going with what's his face, the Irish dude. What's his name? Who's Roy's friend?
Didn't you have Bryson in the first round of the PGA Championship draft?
Well,
Or was that
DJ just read it, so he said no.
That was last year. You got it. Okay.
Round 3, Bob. This is it.
Okay.
Here we go.
This is it. Okay. I'm going to take somebody that shot 63 here in the last U.S. Open in the final round, and that's Tommy Fleetwood.
Ah, Tommy.
I thought of, and then I checked the list and realized that I had taken him earlier and was off the books for me. I can't.
Dang it.
I can't do that.
Dang it.
So.
Okay, so Fleetwood.
Yes. All right, you got Fleetwood. All right, I'll go ahead and take Maddie's brother.
A
I like
fits.
that.
A fits.
You guys wouldn't
A-Fits.
even have heard of him if I hadn't have picked him
Not
at the
Matty
U.S.
Fitz,
Open.
A-Fitz.
Yes, I'm taking A fits.
Yeah, we can't
Okay.
take him because you already took him. Let's see. Who do I want? You know what I'm going to do?
A white guy who went to mass. Who has cute kids. That's who you want.
Oh,
Why do you
my.
mock religion? Why do you do
Who's
that?
from the who's from the Northeast?
You mock religion.
Pick a Jersey guy in New York.
I don't understand I never mock your faith, and you constantly mock mine.
Are you gonna pick or not?
You're going to burn. You say you burn on the beach. Get this, Bob. He tells me, I can't stay at the beach too long because I burn. How do you get out and play 4.5, 5 hours of golf if you burn?
That's right.
Cover up.
Like,
I
cover
agree.
up at the beach.
That goes against the whole point of being at the beach.
No, that's the very reason everybody wants to go to the beach if you're there,
Okay.
if you're covered up.
Pick someone who uses SPF 50, goes to mass, has cute kids, and what was the other one? I already forgot.
I don't know. You make up
Oh, it's
all
a
the
white guy.
rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a white guy.
SPF 50, white guy, goes to mass, cute kids, and is from Jersey.
Well,
Who
I
is
would.
that?
I'm just, you know what? I just want to tell you guys, I really like my picks for this one.
Now, Bob is like, and now back to me. Good honk. Well played.
I'm so confident in my two picks. For my third pick, I'm going to pick Mickelson.
Well, he's not going to be here, so.
Is he
And
going to be
got
at home,
kicked out of
though?
his home club.
Yeah. I had heard about that. I had told DJ about a month earlier.
It's coming.
Yep.
Something happened.
Yep.
I'm deciding between Brooks Koepka and a guy that
I have
really
Brooks
reminds
as a
me.
regional pick, so you can't have Brooks. You gave him to me because I slimmed down, and now I'm buffed
No,
like
you
Brooks.
buffed up, not slimmed down. You buffed up.
I did both. So I
And
have Brooks.
you also like thong bikinis.
Hey-o. Why do you mock my religion?
Yeah. You're so lustful.
Don't pick John Rahm. You already have him as your regional pick because he's an ASU guy.
Okay, I'll go Clark.
Yep, that's right.
Clark Kent?
No, Wyndham.
Wyndham
Oh,
Clark.
Wyndham Clark.
Okay.
I wonder how
There's
much.
one thing I've said about you, you're all class.
I wonder how much growing up people when they go first day of class. Clark Wyndham.
Yeah, right. All right, Bob. There it is. They're the picks.
Okay, bud.
We'll run
Okay,
it by.
guys.
We'll run it by Brian tomorrow and see if he approves. Throw some names out
Sounds
there.
good.
See who he gravitates to.
Yeah, you're going to send out the email, correct?
Uh,
Yeah, he will.
I just hit send right now. Should be showing up any second. I typed it as we went.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you very much. Enjoy the time, and make sure that Brian thanks you properly for hooking him up at so many cool golf courses. I couldn't even list all the courses he listed, but the Pine Valley one, I don't need to play Pine Valley again. That one sent me careening off the freeway.
Do you want to hear the story about that?
Yeah.
We got invited to play Pine Valley, okay? We were leaving in about 2 days to go to Philadelphia to go play, and I play a church softball game with my boys, and I pulled my hamstring. I didn't even get to go play.
No.
Yeah. So Brian took his dad. Thank you very much.
Were you trying to leg out a single or at least a double?
No, it was a ball hit into the outfield that I was running to get. Oh. Yeah, and I got bit right in the back, right on my hamstring, and went down.
You did go down?
Oh yeah, I went down, and I could barely walk, and it bruised up so big. Man.
Does the PGA Tour ever go to Pine Valley, or is that like the best course that just doesn't mess with tour events? They're doing their own thing.
Tour events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't. I don't know if they had a PGA or U.S. Open back in time at some point. Nope.
I don't think so.
They're just a classic course, and they do their own thing.
Yep.
And there it is. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, Bob, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the week.
Okay.
All right. There was Bob Casper. When we come back, Ben Anderson on the NBA draft and the Utah Jazz and Walker Kessler. Stay with us.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Just top.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Ben Anderson joined us yesterday. You hear Ben from 2 till 7 right here on the Zone with Jake Scott. And those two tend to talk a lot of basketball. Jake hosts the pre-half and post-game. Ben was on the beat for KSLSports.com before he started doing 5 hours of radio every day. But he still follows the team closely, has his sources, and he's got a lot of opinions on how things will shake out and how they might shake out. He joined us late in yesterday's show on the 9 o'clock hour. So for your early risers, here's Ben Anderson with PK and I. Ben, good morning.
Good morning.
So Ben, 5 years, $140 million, $28 million per year for Walker Kessler. We were talking earlier this morning about this. Tim McMahon had it. You confirmed that. Those numbers are the real deal. It makes sense to me. Because I thought when we talked about this earlier, like at $20 million, you're going to get outbid. At $25 million, seems bottom of the market. You're probably going to have to pay him $30. So they settled on $28. I don't have to do it. I can just go in $5 million increments. So $28 makes sense, but it does make sense that somebody out there might try to get him for over $30 million. Would the Jazz match anything up to $35? Where do you think, assuming he gets another offer that's better, how far would they go and match him? What's that number look like?
Yeah, I think that's the big question is, where are the Jazz outside of their comfort range? And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if Walker wants fewer years so he can get his next contract sooner, where he can get ideally another raise and start making money on top of what he's already making. So, is it 35? Is the team going to offer 35? I kind of, for no reason, just how NBA teams operate, kind of keep coming back to is there a 3-year, $100 million deal out there for him? Where a team says, yeah, we're going to give you more on average per season. It's $5 million more a year. It's a lot, but it's also shorter. So if something does go wrong, they can get out of it quicker. Mm-hmm. I could see that, and I think I think the Jazz trying to put 5 years on there is a sign that they really believe in Walker and want Walker to know that they believe in him, but also they want to have him locked up for a long time at a relatively low number. 5 years from now, $28 million is not going to look like that much on the NBA landscape.
You kind of have the same thing, at least in theory, with Walker Kessler. He wanted to be extended last summer, and Darren Peterson doesn't want to work out or whatever for the Jazz. Well, my thought is to both of them, tough. Suck it up. You'll come here because we have the rights, and if you want to play here, this is the way. If you want to play in the NBA, you got to play here. Plus, when they get out here, and Walker's already been here, obviously, and the games get going, and you get with the guys, they'll find out, and this is a great place to be. So I don't really worry about any about this. What's your response?
Yeah, and, from everything I understand is Walker really likes Utah. Walker wants to be here. He wants to be in Utah. His camp also wants more money. I mean, it's kind of simple.
So do I, Ben.
Yeah, so does everybody, right? I mean, that's not actually that foreign, which in a way I also identify with Walker's camp, and I tweeted this out yesterday. Players get to negotiate maybe 2 good contracts in their life. So I actually don't blame anyone for trying to get as much money as possible, but there are kind of naturally competing issues here. The Jazz are trying to build a basketball team, and Walker's trying to build his individual wealth, and those actually don't jive that well together. And Walker's team actually doesn't have very much leverage, and that's the problem, and that's the hard part. Now, they can go out and get more money somewhere else, maybe, but is another team going to lock up $35 million on the free agent market for 48 hours while the Jazz just sit back and say, we're going to match this, but we're going to wait till the last second, so it actually hurts you to offer him a sheet?
Right.
That can certainly happen. And then as far as the Darren Peterson stuff goes, I mean, I will just tell you everything I've heard. None of it has to do with trying to avoid Utah. He just thinks he's going number 1 overall. There is still some positioning obviously being done there by his camp to try and show Washington that he wants to go number 1 overall, and he's fully invested in that. But if the Jazz draft him, I have not heard anything that makes anyone think that he wouldn't be happy being here. I know the report out of Dallas was he was trying to avoid the Jazz. He didn't work out for Memphis either. And the Jazz have been at his, meetings. The Jazz met with him at the Combine. The communication is ongoing. So I think people took that story and thought that meant he was trying to avoid the Jazz, and I really don't think that's the story at all.
And then if Kessler wants more money, just do another credit union ad. You'll be good to go.
Yeah, he'll keep making more money. He's fine. He's got options. He's marketable.
With Peterson and the whole Washington that's the only workout deal, I'm trying to figure if Washington has shown their cards and he knows, or at least heavily suspects that he's number 1, or if this is a power move by the Peterson camp. Hey, we're going to be number 1. You should pick us. We're only going to talk to you because obviously you're going to come to your senses and figure out I'm the number 1 pick. Which one of those 2 things is it, or is there a third scenario out there?
The people I've talked to really seem to think he's going to be the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
And look, if you want to look at the actions, like that would kind of match with A.J. DeBonta also coming and working out with the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
If A.J. wasn't actually fully sure that he was going to be number 1 and Darren was, those actions certainly speak for themselves. Now, I know the betting odds don't say that, and I know kind of the consensus mock drafts don't say that Darren Peterson's going to be number 1, but everything I've heard from well before the Jazz won their lottery to where we are today, I heard this as recently as, Monday. I heard this Monday that, the world has just been way too confident that AJ is going to be the number 1 overall pick. I don't actually think that's how NBA front offices have operated, despite the fact that that's kind of what the groupthink has been amongst people who do mock drafts and kind of cover the draft from a media perspective. So I do think that, as far as my intel goes, that's the most solid I've heard of who actually could be the number 1 overall pick. But again, that could easily be Darren Peterson's camp positioning and trying to say, hey, we're not going to come to Utah for sure because we think we're going to be the number 1 pick, when really they know they're not going to fall past 2 or 3 at the absolute latest. So what do they have to lose? I mean, it's not going to hurt them by not working out with the Jazz. If the Jazz want them, the Jazz will draft them. And this is the very last piece in a 4 or a 5-year puzzle where they've been watching these guys since they were teenagers. They know everything about them. If they don't come in for a workout, it's pretty small potatoes.
Locke had been down on DeBonta for a good while, his lack of three-point shooting. Now he put out a little video on his Locked On spiel. Seems to change that. Tune has been altered a little bit, being a 20-point-a-game guy, willing passer, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I've seen him up close. We've all seen him on television. I got to cover several of their games. I like the guy, and I get that, he's not the best three-point shooter. We understand that. What level of confidence do you have if the Jazz pick him, which seems like that's what's going to happen, that, to me anyway, that he will be not just good, but in time a star?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a star. I have very little doubt about that, three-point shot or not. But even then, if you want to go back and, look at his whole season, certainly it's fair to look at a whole season. I mean, an NBA season or a college season is 35 games. I mean, we're talking about an NBA player having a slow start if they're shooting 33%. I mean, that's, October 28th or whatever the season starts to December 15th. Nobody chalks up somebody's entire career based on those numbers. And if you want to go in, look at one of AJ's interviews. I think it was with Scotty Barnes Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. And he said, look, I realized I could score 30 a game if I wanted to. And I think if you look at the point where he's kind of talking about in his season where he could have averaged 30 or more, what does he put up 43 on Utah or whatever it is? Look at his numbers from that game to the rest of the regular season. It's like a 16 or 17 game sample. I think it's more than half the year. Look at his 3-point shooting. It's at like 36%. Like, it even got better within the season. And then it fell off of the tournament a little bit. And they didn't play many games, but you're talking about 4 games over that stretch. So, like, he has shown an ability to, not just score at an extremely high level, because I think he was up near 30 points a game during that stretch, but he was up over 36% from 3. My fear on guys in college about not being able to shoot the 3, you look at their box scores, and if they have like 2 attempts a game, 0 attempts a game. AJ's at like 6, 7 attempts a game pretty regularly. He has games where he's made 5 in a game. Like, I just kind of think that's something that's somebody who has confidence in their 3-point shot. And generally, I believe those guys are going to get better. So even if it doesn't come along, I still think he's a star. If it does, you are talking about the best player from this draft.
Ben Anderson, join us. You will hear him today at 2 o'clock. He and Jake will be on the air here, talking a lot of hoops with the draft bearing down on us. You go back and redraft drafts, and the top 4 are never the right 4. There's always somebody who was picked 8th or 18th or 28th who should have been in there, and some of the top 4 who shouldn't have been drafted at all or shouldn't have gone in the top 20. So this 4, there's a real consensus of the 4. Who do you think when we're 5, 10 years out, we're going to go back and scratch our head and think, why in the world was that guy in the top 4? That shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I guess the obvious answer would be Caleb Wilson, just because he is the rawest of the group. And you know what, DJ? I really wonder if we're getting better at drafting. Clearly you go back and there's still, when you take 4 guys versus the field, which is the next, 56 guys, obviously one of the 56 is going to jump up. But I don't know, if we're 3 or 4 years from now, we look back and look at this past top 5 with Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper and VJ Edgecombe and Con Knipple and Ace Bailey and say, no, it looks like a good top 5. There's a possibility that's absolutely the case. Maybe we are getting a little bit better at this, or maybe we're not, and that was just a fluke season. So I would probably say Caleb Wilson, just because the skill set is yet to develop fully. And even then, he put up almost 20 and 10 at North Carolina, and they were really good when he was on the floor and not very good when he was not. So I think he's going to be a good player as well. The difference is going to be, who of the guys behind them jumps up. Is it Darius Acuff? Is it Keaton Wagler? Is it somebody 10, 11, 12, 13? I like Vass or Johnson kid from Michigan quite a bit. I think he's a really good player. Someone's going to jump up inevitably, but I understand why these 4 are the best players.
It's an interesting time for the Jazz with this pick that is so fundamental to their success and crucial. But yet at the same time, they just can't be focused on the draft, because then they got to turn around and a week later really starts going with the free agency. Depending, I guess, to what they do with Kessler, what do you see their level of activity being in that particular way to build your team?
Yeah, what I've heard is, if Darren Peterson's the guy at 2, the Jazz probably still need another ball handler in the backcourt to come in and help, and that's not to replace Keontae. That's just to come in and help, off the bench or help with Isaiah Collier. And if it's, AJ DiBonsa or Cam Boozer, they might feel like they need 2 guys. They might go out and try and get 2 guards who are, ball handlers who can come in and support and help, because they do need that. They do need more ball handling. Now, AJ's a really good ball handler. I actually wonder if there's more playmaking to his game than he was even able to show at BYU, and he averaged way more assists per game than Darren Peterson did. But if Darren Peterson comes in, is his playmaking actually a lot better than people thought? Keontae George came in and was a much better passer from day one. Ace Bailey came in and was a much better passer from day one. I wonder if that's a stat that kind of gets lost or gets blurred in college, that gets much better kind of naturally once you get to the NBA. But, yeah, the Jazz need another ball handler or 2, and they certainly need a lot more defense on the perimeter. So I think you look down some of the names, the Marcus Smarts, the Anthony Meltons that have been out there. I think those make some sense. Gary Payton II. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Jazz, flirt with somebody like that.
How much money do you think they're going to have to go get those guys? Because the teams that have gone and taken a young team and jumped up to the championship level, and you go back 10 or 20 years, the Warriors won 4 titles. They did it. The Lakers, who won the three-peat, they brought in a couple of veterans, and usually they bring in one person who's really good and somebody else who's solid, who's really solid. But can the Jazz afford to do 2, or you think they're only adding 1?
They've got the mid-level exception, which is, I think it's like $20 million this year. It's like $19 million. It's pretty hefty. So you could go out and maybe sign a guy for 2 years and 2 years 25, and then get another guy on a vet minimum contract essentially, and see if that's enough for you. So I could see them going out and trying to get 2 players, or do you give one guy $20 million for 1 year, or 2 years, $40 million, and really try and make a splash. That seems a little rich for me for a gamble on a team that I'm not, I know the Jazz think they're going to be good next year. I don't know if they know how good they're going to be. So I wonder if they would invest that much or sacrifice that much flexibility for a season or 2. But maybe you do 1 year. Maybe you just say, hey, we're going to give you a lot for 1 year. We think we can make a real push, and then we'll reexamine where we are a year from now. I could see that as well, but I definitely think they will be aggressive. I think they will try and fill out this roster more completely for sure.
They've invested a lot of time in these young guys the last couple of years as they've been losing. And right now it seems that we're overlooking a lot of them, or if not all of them. Your guess, your projection in terms of who would be a rotational guy out of these young dudes the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough. And unfortunately for them, like if nobody makes the Keontae George jump, and I'm not saying Keontae George, who suddenly became, a 9-figure player in the NBA, I don't think anyone's expecting that from Bryce Sensabaugh or Cody Williams or Kyle Filipowski even. But if one of them can jump up, that would be a huge positive for the Jazz. Now, I don't know how you pay that person next year, but if one of those guys was to jump up, that could become very beneficial for the Jazz and could actually solve a lot of their issues. As nice as Darren Peterson is and the skill set he brings, and he's a better player than Bryce Sensabaugh. But if Bryce becomes a knockdown three-point shooter and consistent, can give you a little bit in the area of team defense being in the right spot, he can be really helpful. If I had to bet on who it's going to be, I do think Kyle Filipowski just makes a lot of sense. He's further along than those guys since the day he came into the NBA. He's going into his third year. I bet physically he's kind of really starting to catch up finally. I think he understands exactly what his role is going to be. 15 to 20 minutes off the bench is going to be beneficial. Conceivably, assuming Walker Kessler comes back, he can always be on the floor with either Walker or Jaren Jackson Jr., which covers up some of his defensive issues, and then he can be really a kind of a playmaker out of the post with them, and I think that becomes extremely valuable. So I would bet on Flip making a jump. Cody Williams I might be the most skeptical on just because I'm not sure what his actual skill is. But that doesn't mean I'm not a Cody Williams believer. And the truth is, like, if his defense comes along, he might be the most valuable of those three. We just have maybe seen the least from him so far.
I'm curious about the mental makeup of all these young guys because we can say they're going to play 15 minutes a night, but that's not accurate. You got to dig deeper. There are going to be nights where everybody's available where they're going to get DNP CDs. There are going to be nights where they're in the rotation getting the 15 minutes, and there are going to be nights where multiple guys are out and they're going to have to play 25, and it can be hard to go out there and play 25 minutes because you don't have the conditioning, because you did just take a DNP, and because mentally you're getting a little beat up because your role changes so much. Who can handle that? Because in an era when guys play 65 games and consider it a full season, that just seems inevitable. If you're guy 10, 11, 12 on the roster, that's going to be your life.
Well, yeah, we're talking about the young guys right now, and we're kind of ignoring John Conchar. We're ignoring Svi Mikhailiuk, who are NBA veterans. I mean, I think Svi has a title. John Conchar is the type of player who, if you were to pluck somebody off the Jazz's bench that you said could have played in these finals, it's probably Conchar. He's running all over the floor, and I know he didn't shoot the ball particularly well with the Jazz, but he has historically. If he makes shots and is running all over the floor, I mean, he's the Jazz's best version of Josh Hart, who was so critical for the Knicks. So, if those guys are in the rotation, you're talking about, Bryce and Cody Williams being maybe guy 10 and 11 on this roster, and 10 and 11 might play 10 minutes a game if they play at all. Now, NBA rotations sometimes are 10. That's generally what Will Hardy has done. So maybe one of those guys gets a spot if you're assuming that whoever the Jazz draft at number 2 plays and that Walker Kessler comes back. I do think Kyle Filipowski is going to be in the rotation because they need him, but if Nurk is back, and I think the Jazz would probably enjoy Nurk if he could come back, it's a lot of bodies competing for very few minutes. And I don't honestly envy Will Hardy. I mean, Will Hardy's going to have to tell either the number 2 overall pick or Ace Bailey, most likely, that you're coming off the bench. That's probably not an easy conversation for 2 guys who are top 5 selections.
DJ, start spreading the news. I don't think Ben's leaving today, but when are you leaving, Ben? I
am leaving Saturday morning, and I'll be in New York, obviously, for the draft. So Monday they're doing all the player interviews. So I will be downtown, and I'll get all those and send them back. We'll have them posted at KSLSports.com, on our Instagram page, social media, YouTube, etc. And then Tuesday I'll be at the draft as well.
Do you have Ben's final mock draft 0.0? I don't know how many mocks you'd be into it. You ready to call the top 2 picks?
Well, I'll say the top 2 picks I think will be AJ and Darren. I don't know what order.
Okay.
That's bold, Ben. That's bold right there.
I know, really gutsy. But you know what? I will tell you, I bet you that's how the Jazz feel as well.
Are you going first class? Because you're a first class guy.
I think I'm flying standby. I don't know how I'm getting there.
Standby.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Open air?
Yeah, whatever.
Catch the train to Denver and try to pick up a flight from there.
No.
Yeah.
Avoid Denver at all costs.
Ben, we appreciate a few minutes. We will hear you today at 2 o'clock. You and Jake will take over and take everybody home.
Thanks, guys.
There's Ben Anderson. Listen to him today at 2 o'clock right here on The Zone. When we come back, what is trending? The headlines are next.
Summer is all about freedom, fun, and growing up. And between the ages of 9 and 13, kids are starting to form their views about alcohol. With more independence, their still developing brains need more guidance and support than ever. That's why summer is the perfect time to stay connected and plan fun, safe family activities together. Research shows kids who spend quality time with their parents doing what they enjoy are less likely to drink underage. And when kids feel close to you, they're more likely to listen, especially when you set clear expectations. In fact, kids who drink before 15 are far more likely to struggle with alcohol later. This summer, create a no-bummer summer with fun, alcohol-free activities for your kids. Go to summer.parentsempowered.org to take a quick quiz and discover ideas tailored to your family. A little time together can make a big difference. For more information and to learn more about how to prevent underage drinking, visit parentsempowered.org.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.